Mesothelioma is still believed to be a relatively rare form of cancer that may not be detected for decades from the time a person is exposed to any related risk factor. According to the National Cancer Institute, about 2,000 new cases are diagnosed in the United States every year.
Mesothelioma is a cancer of the lining in the chest cavity or in the abdominal cavity. And in that way, it's unlike lung cancer. It is not caused by cigarette smoking and is virtually unknown except for people who have had asbestos exposure.
There are many risk factors, but working with asbestos is right at the top of that list. Statistics show that 70 to 80% of those who suffer from it had a history of exposure to asbestos at work. That said, there have been reported cases where people have been diagnosed with this form of cancer who had no known exposure to asbestos. Asbestos has been used in everything from insulation to cement to roof shingles. The list goes on and on. It's a substance that's been used by builders and contractors because of its low heat conductivity and its resistance to melting and burning. A prominent medical researcher by the name of Irving Selikoff is among those who have determined that there are basically three waves of people who are at risk.
The first wave was what he called the miners, the millers, the manufacturers of asbestos products, the 3Ms, and they were the very earliest cases. The second wave was those people who used the asbestos products, and that could be virtually any trade or occupation, from railroad workers to naval personnel to insulators to construction workers to refinery workers. Virtually every trade could use asbestos and therefore could get asbestos disease.
The third wave is what may surprise and put fear in many unsuspecting victims.
And it could be teachers, it could be shop owners, it could be virtually anyone. And you don't have to be in an occupation working with asbestos to get asbestos disease. You can have non-occupational exposure just by being in a household where someone who does work in an asbestos industry brings home the work clothes or brings home the asbestos dust on his or her hair or body or person.
Though the disease can appear in both men and women at any age, statistics show that it happens in men more than women, and the risk increases with age. So, what are the warning signs that you or a loved one may have mesothelioma? The experts say diagnosing it can be troublesome because the symptoms can be very similar to other health issues and may not be detected until as much as 50 years after being exposed to asbestos. Symptoms can include shortness of breath, pain in the chest, bowel obstruction, blood clotting, anemia, and fever. If the cancer has spread to other parts of the body, those affected may have trouble swallowing or may have swelling in the neck or face. If you experience any of these symptoms, see a doctor because this type of health problem doesn't discriminate.
Asbestos doesn't respect sex, it doesn't respect geography, it doesn't respect occupation, it doesn't respect age. Everyone who works around or works near or is near or around asbestos dust is unfortunately at risk to get some type of an asbestos disease. And if that happens to you, you need an experienced lawyer. That's the bottom line.